Hey there, what's up? My name is Brent Epperson, and I wanted to do a video today to break down some holster options for the Springfield Hellcat. A few of these holsters I have seen videos on YouTube about. Some of them I really haven't. Some of them I've seen videos on, but not specifically for this gun. So I kind of wanted to get into that, kind of give you my impressions of this gun compared to other guns that I have, if you may be thinking about making a decision to get one, and if you do, kind of what may be out there in some different looks, configurations, price ranges for you. Disclaimer, I'm not, ex-military, I'm not, police officer or anything like that. I'm just an everyday average person, and I kind of wanted to make a video specifically targeting everyday average people. It's great to get a lot of knowledge and see a lot of videos out there from people who are ex-military or police officers and law enforcement, or they specifically train people for a living. It's great for all of us to get all of that knowledge. It's extremely helpful. I just wanted to kind of give you my take and a different kind of perspective, as I think that that's helpful as well. A lot of people that are carrying, or a lot of people who are out doing research or buying guns for the first time and thinking about carrying guns for the first time are everyday average people, first time gun owners, and so maybe having some things from that perspective I feel can be helpful as well. So let's get into this. This is my Hellcat. This gun is unloaded. There's no magazine in it. I know everybody likes to see the there is no mag or anything in there, no round in the chamber. I like this gun. I own a lot of guns. I've owned a lot of guns in the past, and this is by far my favorite gun that I've ever owned. It just feels really natural in the hand to me. The angle of the grip, it points really naturally, really it just points natural. It just feels good in my hand. I've picked up and shot the P365, as far as guns in this kind of price range, in this kind of size category. Glock 43, 43X, owned both those. Smith & Wesson Shield. And this gun is by far my favorite. Not just my favorite carry gun, but my favorite gun that I've ever owned. It just makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, there are very few offerings on the market that you could carry in a package this size, whether you want to put it in a purse, you want to put it in a pocket, you want to carry it on your belt, that you can have 13+1. That's enough firepower to get the job done. Should you ever have the unfortunate kind of circumstance of being in any kind of physical altercation, and it's also enough to defend the home with. When you think about the Glock 19, which I have a Glock 19 Gen 4, when you think about how big that gun is, and it's only 15+1, so you're getting 16 in that, you're getting 14 in this. The size difference to capacity ratio is pretty staggering. That's a much bigger gun. I have carried that, appendix before. It's not terrible, but it's definitely noticeable. It's a lot harder to sit down with. It wants to move around a little bit more. It's just a heavier gun. So this is a really nice size if you're looking at getting something to carry, to defend yourself with, defend your family's life, defend others with, and also to keep in the nightstand. I don't think you can beat this package. 13+1 right out of the box is just, for something this small, I mean, is staggering. So I love this gun, my favorite gun. So if you have, if you're on the fence about any of these things, I know right now a lot of these guns, with what's going on, are really hard to find or really hard to come by. I have seen more, Glock 43s, Shields, and even 365s in or around, whether it be a smaller gun store or larger chains than I have the Hellcat. The Hellcat is extremely hard to find. So if you are fortunate enough to get to a shop that has, you know, a couple of different options and has the Hellcat, pick it up, put it in your hands, you know, look at it. The one thing I do also like about this is it's got the blade safety, obviously here, like the Glocks and whatnot do, but it's more of like a flat face trigger, if you can see that. It has like a little curve down here at the bottom, but it's pretty flat. So when you pull that thing back, it's really like a flat face trigger. It has a really nice, crisp and short reset on it. I do like the sights as well. I think they're really easy to pick up on. Let me see if I can kind of, so that's like a U notch. So a U in the front, and then a tritium dot in the front, yellow, really easy to pick up on. When I was starting to figure out what I wanted to do with carry guns and how I wanted to, you know, put everything together and what kind of accessories I wanted on it, I started out carrying Glocks, and as everybody knows, the Glock sights suck. So I went with XS Big Dots, and I did that because I did a lot of research, and some things that I found really helpful were videos by a guy named James Yeager from Tactical Response. He says they're not the best sights for, like, you know, competition shooting. Like, you're not going to sit there and aim from 50 yards away and stuff, but they are the best sights for gunfighting, right? Like, if you have to ever draw from concealment and push out, they're easy to pick up, right? They're easy to pick up. Your eyes automatically are drawn to it, and that's what I like about this as well. As far as out of the box sights, I think they're better and easier to acquire than the 365. Much better than the Glock, much better than the Smith & Wesson Shield. So that's something to also keep in mind. Okay, so getting into holster options. I did have a holster for this gun that I ordered, and it took like 6 to 8 weeks to get here. It was a recommendation from QVO Tactical Quick Violent Over. It was an appendix rig that had a wing on it. They create their own with a piece of Kydex. They just like fold it to an L shape and mount it to the holster. And it was like a 80s color wave, like black with, like, you know, neon green and pink and whatever splashes on it. Looks super cool. I had it for like a week, maybe two, and sold it immediately. I thought it was so uncomfortable. It wasn't very functional. And the one thing I didn't like about it is something you also need to consider when you're carrying a gun is how high or low it rides in your belt, right? There was no way to adjust the ride height of the holster from QVO. It rode really, really high. So yeah, you could get a great purchase on it, but also felt like the gun was really top heavy and wanted to kind of roll on me when I was carrying it. I just was not a big fan. And I believe I paid like $95 or $96 for that holster with shipping and everything. It was literally $100. So, you know, you can check them out if you want. There are other reviews online of QVO. Some people really like them, some people don't. I was not a big fan. I thought it was a completely overrated and overpriced holster. So getting into some of these holsters, I'm going to go in through some of these different options. This is the first one that I got for the Springfield Hellcat, and this is the Blade Tech Clipped. I'll just kind of show it to you there. It's like a thermo molded plastic, I guess. A lot of people use Blade Tech for like competitions and stuff because they're just easy in and out. As you can see right here, this has like a, I don't know what the hell that's even called, like an eye hole, but it's not like a, there's no way to adjust the retention on this holster. Like, it's just kind of set the way that it is. I picked this up because I was waiting on another holster and it was just there, and I was like, okay, cool, I can get this and then kind of get it in my waistband and start carrying it and seeing what I think of it. Not a big fan of this. I mean, if you have to get something quick, easy, and cheap, maybe you want to take a look at this. As you can see, it's low cut in the front, cut down here if you want to put like an RMR or something on there. You know, the Shield RMSC or whatever, Romeo. You can put it on here and it's cut for the optic. Just kind of put this in here. You can see it's got, I mean, it does have like an audible click. It does have a full-length sweat guard in the back. It's cut out for, obviously, your mag release. Overall, I mean, it looks kind of cool in there. Not very comfortable and really hard to kind of get it out of there. You have to like really give it some force. And I think it's because it just, there's no adjustable retention on it, right? It's just like, it's cut out and there are certain like lines and stuff in the holster. I think there may be some kind of like bumps or notches right in here inside the trigger guard that maybe make it snap in and stay put. But, you know, not a big fan of this. Not a big fan of, especially if you're going to carry appendix, on having a huge sweat guard on your holster. I'll explain that here on another option here in a second. But I think these run like, I don't know, $20 to $30 depending on where you get them from. Getting into the next option, which is a really nice holster, and a lot of people really like these. They're very popular, and that is Tolster. It's a Tolster holster. You can see that there. Tolster. This is the black carbon fiber holster for the Hellcat. They do make a new one that has a wing on it and is cut out and everything, and has like the clip mounted here for appendix carry. Just wasn't a big fan of kind of that setup. So I got this one. This one cost me, it was $70 for the holster, and then I think 13 or 14 bucks for this little thing called the sidekick. So I think it's like 83, 84 bucks for this total. This is supposed to act, this is their signature thing called a sidekick. This is supposed to act as kind of like a mod wing or a wing on your holster. Instead of having it mounted over here, you know, off of the retention screw, it just kind of mounts right here to the outside of the trigger guard. Kind of a cool design. I really like the simplicity of this and the design and whatnot of this. I do like this holster. As you can see, this thing has such a nice audible click when you put it in. Listen, I mean, it just snaps in. Looks really good. As you can see, it looks really good. All the lines and everything are, you know, sanded, and everything's really, you know, cut out. The thing I like about this is that they took off like this piece and they put this at an angle. All these areas to me that I just think are unnecessary. There's a lot of holster companies that leave this or leave that straight, and it's unnecessary kydex. It doesn't need to be there. You can take just a little more time and kind of, you know, finish and you know, kind of cut out those areas, and it makes a huge difference. It's a lot more comfortable to carry this in an appendix. If you can imagine, if your leg's going to be like right here and your leg's going to be right here, that it's more cut off and rounded than just kind of squared off. It's a lot more comfortable. As far as fit and finish on a holster, I mean, this thing, you can see the lines and everything in it. You can tell that this holster was not made with one of those cheap blue guns, that they actually got like a real high quality mold for this, and that's how these holsters are made. This is obviously, it's not ride height adjustable, but it is cant adjustable, so you can, like, you know, have it sit like this in your belt or however you want. I really like it. I don't really have, I guess, that many complaints about this holster. It's a really high quality piece. I think the one thing for me, again, I'm not a huge fan of having this high sweat guard on it, and I also, the sidekick, I don't feel like it has as much function, or does, I guess, as much as or what it's intended to do or what it's advertised to do. But it's not just the Tolster sidekick. It's a lot of these wings that I don't really think are as beneficial as they're made out to be, or that these companies are saying they are. So I'll get to that in a second. But my complaint on having high sweat guards on a holster, especially if you're somebody who's going to carry in the appendix position, is that if you pull your gun out and say you're in kind of any kind of altercation where you're having to, like, you know, God forbid, wrestle with somebody, or you get pushed to the ground or something like this, this is going to push right into your stomach, right? And it's not as functional. You know, I guess if you're carrying this at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever, that's great. But if you're going to carry an appendix, I'm just not a huge fan of having these up here. And you're going to say, well, then why did you buy them? I didn't know that until I actually bought them and tried them out, that I just I came to the conclusion that I'm not a huge fan. So that's something else to think about if you're going to carry appendix. Great holsters, but maybe not the best. As far as the wings go, if you can see that there, okay, I'm trying to get it as flat as I can. Maybe that'll help. The clip's up here, and this wing is probably, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, maybe to 1/4 of an inch too low. So if this was up higher and this was riding on your belt, then your belt would hit up here and it would push the holster more towards your body. It does a little bit, but because it's so far down, it just barely hits inside of my pants and gives me like a little turn, but not as much of a turn to kind of conform and hug my body. And in a second, I'll try this holster on in one of these other ones and just kind of show you how it sits on my person, so you can kind of make the determining factor for yourself. But a great holster. Again, those start, I think you can get just the plain black ones for like $60, and then this one was like 70, and then they have all the different patterns, and it goes up from there. This holster is actually my wife's holster. I have personally never used it or carried it, but she seems to really like it, and this is from Gun Goddess. It's like the Tiffany blue kind of lace thing. She does have this thing on here called the Alti Clip, which is another cool option if you're somebody who, doesn't want to wear loops or doesn't wear a belt all the time, or you're a female that wears yoga pants or something like this. This is really helpful for that. So you just stick your garment in under here, and then you clamp that down, and it stays put, right? It unlike a clip like this that can come off and whatnot, this doesn't do that. So it keeps the firearm snug and secure on your body. She does have this wing thing on here, and again, it's much like the Sidekick, but it's up a little bit higher. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you can see how high this is compared to how high the clip is, it's pretty much even. So when she wears this on her body, this does hit and gives a little bit more of a turn than the Sidekick does. Again, I'm not a huge fan of these wings because I just don't see the point in spending the extra money, because I haven't personally found one for me that makes that big of a difference, right? I've heard people say, oh man, it takes it from being way out here on your body to like literally hugging your body. And I haven't found one yet for me personally that has done that. I've seen some that, that help a little bit, but not something that pushes it so close to my body that you can't literally even tell it's there. I haven't found one yet. And I've tried, I believe the Sidekick. I've tried, I think, three different wings. I have had one of these on one of my old holsters. I just haven't worn this one, and then this one, and then another one. So I've tried 3 different ones, and I haven't found something for me that really works that great. So maybe you will. Maybe you'll find out that it works great for for your body and how you carry your pistol, and that it makes a huge difference. But for me, I just haven't found that. So this is. Again, this is a really quality made holster. You can hear a nice positive snap in there. It does have the like double sweat guards on it, however you want to say that. Fit and finish again is really nice on this. My wife really likes this. She has one of these as well that she was kind of just had while we were looking for something for her, and she just she's big into finding out things that work for females, that work for her body. She isn't necessarily looking at things all the time that I'm looking at, or taking my word for it or taking other people's words for it. She's really doing her own research on kind of how she wants to carry and what she wants to see, and what kind of things matter to her and work for her body, which I think is great. So she likes this, and this is the one that she carries it in. And the cool thing about this is while this is on your pants, whether you're a male or female, I guess that, with it having these 2 high sweat guards, you can easily reholster the pistol, right? You're not having to fight to find it. You can literally find it, and down and you're in, right? You can find it, you're down, you're in. Whereas, something like this, yeah, you can find the back and slide it in. But if like you were coming in this way, you'd have to really fight to try and find it and snap it in. Whereas on this one, you don't have to do that. It just goes straight in. So my wife really likes that. If you have a wife or girlfriend, or you're a female that's watching this video, go check out Gun Goddess. I think it's gungoddess.com. They have a bunch of cool stuff, but she really likes that. So, okay, so this is going to bring it to the last one that I have here on the table. And of the three that I have and the three that I use, this is my favorite. And, you know, people who, you know, may think they're smarter than me, or may, you know, think they have more experience or whatever, may, you know, laugh at this or disagree with this. But the holster that I like and I carry the most out of all these is the Blackhawk Arc. This is like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a soft polymer, but it's not super soft. Like, you have to give it some push, so it's pliable, definitely, but it's still hard, right? It's still hard. It's not like it's mush. And what that does is it makes it extremely comfortable to carry inside the waistband. Of all the holsters that I honestly have ever used, I don't use leather holsters. I don't use hybrid holsters. If you don't know what a hybrid holster is, that's like a Kydex shell on the front and then a soft or a leather backing on the back. I don't like those. I've talked to a bunch of people, done a bunch of research, and the reason that I don't like those or don't carry those is there's a greater chance that those holsters will fail on you, or something will fold on you when reholstering, and you have the chance of shooting yourself. And I'm just not a huge fan. Like, the failure rate on those is higher than something that's like a Kydex or like a thermo molded, you know, product. So I don't use those. I would never recommend those. You may like them, you may carry them, you may never ever have any issues with it. That's fine. That's just my personal take on that. What I really like about this is it's super soft. It's super comfortable. It's way more comfortable than any of these holsters that I have on here that I've spent, you know, $80 to $100 on. This holster, I think I got this holster on sale. I think maybe it was $20. I got it at Cabela's, and they have them for so many different guns. And it doesn't have the real loud, you know, audible click, but you can definitely hear it click in when you put the gun in. Okay, so listen. It's more of like a softer snap, but this thing isn't going anywhere. I mean, I can shake it. It's not going anywhere. I like that it's low cut. It's low cut on the front. It's low cut on the back. So you don't have this coming up all the way and, you know, kind of bumping into you. I mean, if you can see this, it's going to sit a little bit off your body, right? So the gun's not going to completely sit against your body, right? So it's not going to be like this. It's not going to be like the Kydex, you know, right here rubbing up against your body. It gives you a little bit of space. It's low cut. You can still have like an RMR or whatever you want on there. And it's super comfortable. It's super comfortable, and it's also very functional, right? I'm big on function. I'm not one of these people that likes a bunch of bells and whistles and a bunch of crap on my holster or on my belt. I actually carry, let me show you here. I actually carry in my pocket my extra mag in a DeSantis, I think this is called a mag packer, just kind of in and out. There's no retention on it. This keeps, you know, from getting fuzz and everything in it. And if you can see, it's got like these rubber dots that like keep it in your pocket from coming out. And it, you know, as you can see, it molds and forms to your pocket. You can't really tell what it is when you have it in your pocket. I'm not a big fan of having, you know, an extra mag on my belt and stuff like that. I don't like that. So I have that that I carry in my pocket. I carry, you know, an OTF knife in my pocket, and then I carry my firearm on me in the appendix position. So I really like this. I think for $20 you can't beat it. Like I said, I have this is $83. This costs 4 times the amount of as this holster does, and I would much rather carry this holster and use this holster because of its functionality and how comfortable it is. Again, I'm not a huge fan. Like, as you can imagine, in your belt, when this is sitting on you and you get into a scuffle and somebody pushes you and this has to come back towards your body, nothing's going to dig into you, right? And you can easily find it, right? You can easily find it and reholster. It's not terrible. The clip on this one's a little bit different. As you can see, it's not solid, and that's so that you can adjust the ride height and the cant. This clip, it comes with 2 clips. This is a 1.5 and it has a 1 3/4. You can move this down, obviously, so that this this hole is here, and so it rides a little bit higher. You can ride it low. This is can't adjustable, and then your retention screw is here on the back. And I just really like this holster. I think it's very simple in its design and its use. It is very easy, and it functions, right? It just functions. And for me, being like a minimalist, kind of a simple type, person, I really like that. If you're at Cabela's or some place like that, I've heard you can even pick these up as cheap as like $12 to $15. Like, you may think this is one of those instances in life to me that proves you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on something for something to be high quality, or for something to be functional, or for something to be, considered the best. It's my personal experience. I mean, I've been carrying guns for a long time now, and I have one of these for my Glock 19. I have, all kinds of holsters upstairs in a drawer for different guns that I just don't use, right? Some of them I've sold, some of them I haven't, but I just don't use them, right? And I use this one more often than the others. If I'm going to go to the drawer and pull one out, this is the one I'm going to pull out because of the ease of function, how simple it is, how it feels. So, go ahead and give it a try. If you have, a question on a holster and you're like, man, what should I get? Go buy one of these, because even if it's $20 and you don't like it, oh well, right? Something happens to it, it's $20, right? This is $83, $84. I think this one was even more. I think I paid $25 or $27 for this, and I paid $18 to $20 for this, and this holster shits on this holster. I think, again, this one for my wife, I want to say was $75, $80. Not quite sure, but I think so. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to holster the Hellcat in the Tolster with the sidekick here in the appendix, so you guys can sort of see what it looks like and how it looks against my body. And again, I just don't think that it looks that much better. Okay, so if we look here, I mean, you can see it. I mean, it hugs to my body, but it's not like drastically in like this, right? You can see kind of how it sits. Okay, you can see that. Now I'm going to put on the Blackhawk Arc, which does not have a wing. And that's what I found with this Blackhawk Arc, is it doesn't, I don't know if it's the design or how the clip's laid out or whatever. I just have found that I don't need the wing. It doesn't make that big of a difference. You know what I mean? So that's what that one looks like against my body. So it's not a drastic difference. I mean, you're looking at, a $20 holster versus an $83 holster with a wing on it and all this stuff. Just don't think it makes that big a difference. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope it makes you go out and do some research, try some different things out. If you have any other questions that maybe I didn't cover on any of these things that you want to know or are curious about, leave it in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. Again, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful for the everyday average shooter or, concealed carry holder. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know if how many more, kind of gun or firearm or product videos I'm going to do. I just really wanted to do this because there was a couple holsters here that I hadn't really seen anybody do reviews on, and I know there's a lot of people that carry the Hellcat. I know I'm in a lot of Hellcat groups on Facebook where people are constantly asking questions about holsters and wings and clips versus ulti-clips and loops and things like that. So I hope this was helpful. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have a question, put it in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, I'm out of here.